The first thing you have to know is that we can't say for sure that the Anunnaki movie is a representation of real events or fake ones or mythological ones. And we can say the same of any religious texts or any religious books, like the Bible, the Torah, the Old or the New Testament, or even the Vedas, or any other religious text like the Quran. We can't say what is real. This is the first thing. There is a lot of people that comes to this channel and say that this is crazy, and Anunnaki stuff is so crazy as any other religious text, as I already said. So as you can see, this channel is not run by some crazy AI doing some crazy things. No, I am a real human, I am a real person, I am Brazilian, and English is not my native language. There is the reason for some errors or errors in pronunciation or some verb tenses. One of the great questions that people make is this: can we believe that the Anunnaki movie or something like that is true? And I will make some things very clear now. This type of video is a type of video for those who want more than just documentaries. I love the documentary format. I think that when I'm writing the scripts, I'm doing my research, not here on these books, but in the internet and in scientific articles too. And the documentaries becomes very rich and very detailed with a lot of information. But this kind of video is for those who want to see a real person saying some things. So I'll try to bring some light to this question. The Anunnaki, or the term Anunnaki, is a Akkadian term, not exactly a Sumerian one. The Sumerians called those beings that they called gods as the Anunna gods. So Sumerians called the Anunna gods, and Akkadians called those same beings as the Anunnaki. The term which became more popular is the Anunnaki, and this is very clear when we go to any research on the internet or on any book. The Anunnaki topic, or the Anunnaki subject, born on science, born from archaeology and from historical point of view. And it starts in history, and it became some kind of conspiracy. And not exactly a conspiracy if you really think about the subject very, very seriously. You will understand that it's not just a myth or some crazy stuff. It can be real things. The first civilization in human history is Sumer. Sumer starts almost from nowhere, and everything starts there. There is even a book written by Samuel Noah Kramer, and it is called History Begins at Sumer, because it really begins there. Everything begins there. The Neolithic Revolution occurred, and then we had agriculture and livestock, what have allowed people to not being nomad, but to start a civilization. And when the civilization started everything. It started the social organization, the commerce and economy. They started to build houses and to live in houses. Trade starts too, and okay, everything started. School, work, social organization, astronomy, mathematics, and even philosophy. There is a lot of people that thinks that philosophy starts at Greece, but no, this is not true. Philosophy actually started in Sumer, as everything has started there. And as I said, the Sumerians thought their gods as the Anunna gods, and they believed that everything they have, not just their lives, but the entire structure of society comes from their gods, the Anunna gods. The Anunna gods had created the Sumerians, and they believed that they were created to work for them. there is a epic called the Epic of Atrahasis, in which humans appearing being created to substitute the work of the minor gods or the junior gods called the Igigi. The Igigi were digging the soil, and they made a mutiny, and the Anunnaki thought that they have to create a substitute, so they created the humans, or the Anunnaki gods at that time. And after the Akkadian Empire came and started to worship these same gods, but they called them as the Anunnaki, and so this term became knowledgeable for that title in Akkadian, the Anunnaki. So to make these movies, to make these films, it is necessary to understand that we can't say for sure that the Anunnaki are the same gods in all mythologies. We can't say for sure that the Anunnaki are the same gods in Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Norse, African, and other mythologies around the world. We can't say for sure. If we look to Zecharia Sitchin's books, and I have the Earth Chronicles series right here, we will understand that Zecharia Sitchin interpreted that, yes, they are the same gods. And after he wrote all the Earth Chronicles series and the Genesis Revised that he wrote even before the Earth Chronicles series, he started to write the Lost Book of Enki. The Lost Book of Enki is an entire fictional book. On that book, on the Lost Book of Enki, he brings all his theory, he brings all his thoughts and all that he thought that happened. So he took, for example, the god from Egypt, the god Amon or Amen, and believed that Amon or Amen is the same Ra, and believed that Ra and Amon and Amen is the same god as Marduk in ancient Mesopotamia. When we look to the map, we can see that ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt are separated by a region known today as Israel. And he believed that Israel was controlled, or that region was controlled by another god called Enlil. And Enlil is the son of actually is the son of Anu. Anu, the godfather, the father of all the other gods. So this is Sitchin conclusions. I have some things that I do not agree with Sitchin, but I believe that the story that he told us is not just a great story, and not just if we think that it's fictional, it's not just a good sci-fi movie. No, it's not that. But it could be real. It could be a real interpretation of what have happened in our past. And God's being here before humans is not just in Mesopotamian tablets, as the Atrahasis epic or Sumerian king's list. We have this in other mythologies around the world. And we have this even on Greece when we look to the myth of the Atlanteans, or the people, this civilization that was flooded, completely flooded, and the Greeks and even Plato called about the Atlantis. So that's why I think that the Anunnaki movie had to be done. And of course, this is not a real movie with real persons giving life to real characters, but this is the best one single guy as me can do. I wrote the script. For those who think that it is AI, it is not. I wrote the entire script. I took the book and I read the book. I took some notes, and I thought, how exactly could I transform that story into different parts? It all started in 2021, when I have started to write tablet by tablet the story, and then I divided all the story in tablet by tablet, and after I united the tablet by tablet in 4 movies, and after that I created the entire movie of 7 hours, the complete story. And after that, this channel had been demonetized, and then I split it into 4 parts again that is now available for anyone to watch. So when you watch it and think about the Viracocha here in Mesoamerica and all the other gods that appear there, you have to understand that, of course, that things that happened in the so-called New World, or here on Americas, or even in Egypt, or in Greece too, or in India, it is not on Sumerian tablets or Mesopotamian tablets, which came with Akkadian and Assyrian inscriptions too. Of course, that it's not entirely there. We can't have the story of Mesoamerica there on Mesopotamian tablets. We can't. But when we look to the Sumerian myths and Mesopotamian tablets, we can understand which god is which god, and the story of each god, and from where it goes, and from where it came, and from where it goes. I can say, for example, about Inanna. Inanna started to be worshipped on Sumeria and continued to be worshipped on the rest of the regions in Mesopotamia, and become known as Ishtar. And Ishtar is related to Venus, to the morning star, and Venus is related to the goddess Venus in Greece, the goddess of love. So in traditional history, we say that we have different people in different times worshipping almost the same goddess, with some difference between them. And if we look to another way of thinking, we can understand, yes, that we are treating of the same entity, the same God, the same real being worshipped by different people on different times and with different names. And then we have the Inanna, Ishtar, Venus being worshipped by different people with a lot of centuries separating them. This is the shift on thinking that we have to have. This is the problem that we have when we look to Yahweh in the Hebrew Bible, because there is a lot of things that Yahweh do or did on those texts that we can see on Mesopotamian tablets, like the episode of the flood. In the episode of the flood, we have Enki, Enlil, Anu, and Inanna on Mesopotamian tablets. And when we look to the Bible, we just have Yahweh. We does not have another gods. So it is the time that we can observe that there is something different. There is something different happening there. Probably one of those Elohim or one of those Anunnaki proclaimed himself as the only and the one true God, and the problems like the wars have become real. We are going to discuss these topics further in another time, and I can appear here to turn things more clearer. And of course, we will continue to the documentary format. I think it is a very good format, and I think that the AI voice that I use is a very good one. I love that voice. One thing that I want to bring to light here, and I will bring this further in other times too, is that the problem with the only God. There's a lot of people that comes to this channel and write in the commentary section that even the Anunnaki believed in one single God. And so what's the problem with thinking by ourselves the only and one true God? And the problem is that actually the Anunnaki believed in nothing. Calm down, I will explain. By Zecharia Sitchin's theory, the Anunnaki are real entities and real beings. And as real beings, they have thoughts, they have feelings, they have beliefs. But we only know things about Anunnaki, forgetting Zecharia Sitchin's studies, by the Mesopotamian Sumerian tablets. And if we know by the Sumerian Mesopotamian tablets, we have to understand that Mesopotamian tablets talks about it had been written by the Sumerians and the Akkadians and the Assyrians, by the Mesopotamian people that was worshipping those gods, the Anunnaki. So in human history, we have humans worshipping gods. We don't have gods worshipping another god. So that might be confusing for some people, because the main and the only purpose of this channel is to study the Anunnaki. And I will study the Anunnaki in depth by Zechariah Sitchin lenses, by traditional science lenses, and another different interpretations and point of views that we can have. And if we look to the past, for those people that wrote those texts, those people doesn't believe in one single god. Those people believed in a plurality of gods. Those people believe in the Elohim or the Anunnaki. Those people believed in a plurality of gods. And those plurality of gods doesn't believe in anything. The Anunnaki doesn't tell anything on Mesopotamian tablets about their beliefs. Actually, the Mesopotamian tablets does not, it was not wrote by the Anunnaki. It was wrote by real human beings that could believe on that stories, that could, even for traditional science, could have imagined such stories, which I believe that it is unbelievable, of course, that those things happened, and our past is about real beings that descended from the heavens, created human beings, and created society, and gave us everything, and maybe they are here now, yet. So I want you to understand that when we look to real Mesopotamian tablets, there is no single god, and there is nothing that we can say about the beliefs of the Anunnaki. The beliefs of the Anunnaki in a father of all, in a one single entity, is something that Zechariah Sitchin put in the Lost Book of Enki and in his conclusions, because that was his conclusions about the topic. That if the Anunnaki came here and manipulated materials and created us by genetic engineering, someone somehow had to be created those animals that was here when the Anunnaki came, and someone somehow, some kind of god had created the Anunnaki. That is his conclusions. And this is my conclusion too. There has to be a single one god, a source, a everything, a whole. But I have to bring you real information. The Anunnaki doesn't came here and say to humans, we believe in a father of all and one single entity. No, humans of that time had said that they believed in the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki were the real gods. And the Anunnaki was the son of An for Sumerians and Anu for the Akkadians. And this An or Anu is the father of all other gods, but not the single one. It is a plurality of gods. I hope that I could make me understandable for you, and I hope that I could bring you some information. We are starting another time on this channel. After the demonetization and the remonetization of the channel, I'm working alone, at least on this channel. If you want to see my other project, it is called Our World History, in which I bring philosophical, mythological, and historical information. But there, at least for now, I'm dividing the work with some editors. Now for this channel, Anunnaki Ancient Mystery, I'm working by myself, alone. And on this new time, I will not just write the scripts, make all the thumbnails, the descriptions, and the editions of all videos, but I will appear here and try to talk a little bit more with the part of the public that like to see me talking here. Thank you for your time, and if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and enjoy the other videos that are appearing now on your screen. See you in another video. Thank you for your time.